Japan has a multifaceted culture with ancient traditions. Although it has roots in Chinese culture, its geographical distance has allowed Japan to build a distinctive cultural model, the marks of which persist despite the dynamic nature of its people in adapting to technological developments. Religion. The Japanese are characterized by religious syncretism. Their main beliefs are rooted in Shintoism and Buddhism, but they coexist with other religions, including Christianity. Unlike what happens in the West, in Japan, there are no religious sermons and religion is not seen as a doctrine, but rather a way of life. It is considered a moral code, a way of living, and is so deeply rooted that it is indistinguishable from the social and cultural values of the population. Introspection is also a hallmark of religion in Japan. Prayers are not public and, even less so, are they part of official ceremonies. Worship is not common among the Japanese. Rituals of life, birth, weddings, birthdays, and death, funerals, are a common part of life in Japan. However, this was not always the case. Until World War II, the Japanese emperor was considered a true god. The conflict shattered this belief system and, after the economic recovery, religion defined the spirituality of the people. Japanese gardens. Among the tourist attractions that demonstrate the essence of Japanese culture are the gardens, whose culture was imported from China around the year 600. The gardens exalt the Buddhist religion, although they are functional in nature. Tea ceremony. More recently, this tradition is said to have begun in 1192, when a Chinese Buddhist monk, Aisai, arrived in Japan. The ceremony imposes a ritual on the preparation of the infusion based on powdered green tea. The ceremonies demonstrating Japanese culture are said to have begun between 1333 and 1573, led by monks in gardens designed solely for rituals. Between 1568 and 1600, the ceremonies already had ornaments such as lanterns, trampolines, and arched bridges built in the gardens considered icons of Japan. Customs. The Japanese live under strict codes, and many are so subtle that few foreigners would be able to notice or understand. Among the most common habits that lead to knowledge of Japanese culture is the imposition of a bow on the back. With an arched back, the Japanese say hello, say goodbye, show gratitude or regret. Bowing the back means showing respect. Formal bowing quickly leads to the image of the Japanese people. Another symbol that quickly leads to the image of Japan is footwear, which is removed when entering houses, temples, and even restaurants. By tradition, the Japanese take off their shoes to sleep, sit, and eat. Since meals are eaten on tatami mats, removing shoes is a way of keeping the environment clean. Also learn about the ancient art of origami by reading Origami, Definition, Origin, and Meanings. Sports. Sports are an important element in Japanese culture. The sports that quickly lead to practice in Japan are sumo, judo, karate, and aikido. Today, however, badminton, baseball, and soccer are widely practiced in Japan. Sumo. Sumo is considered a national sport, having been practiced for at least 1,500 years. It is a professional sport, but it still retains its ritualistic roots, such as the use of salt for purification and as a food source for practitioners. High-performance sumo athletes are revered by the Japanese. Today, the sport is also sought after by foreigners, but the natives are still the most famous athletes. Kendo. Considered the oldest martial art in Japan, kendo consists of the use of bamboo swords joined by leather straps. It has been practiced since 1333 because the samurai needed to practice using the sword. Karate. From Japan, karate arrived in China, where it was perfected. Its origins, however, even go back to the Indian continent. Karate is spread throughout the world and offers a fantastic way of fighting without the use of weapons. Japanese cuisine. Food. Japanese food is so uniquely diverse and seductive that it alone would be enough to justify visiting the country. Just like the sport, it has spread throughout the world, brought by migrants and attracting enthusiasts everywhere. Japan is where sushi comes from, a delicacy that combines fish and rice wrapped in a layer of seaweed. And of utmost importance in Japanese cuisine is rice, which is so important that it was once traded as currency. Rice is the basis of at least 2,000 Japanese dishes. The demand for quality begins at the time of planting, and the harvest follows special guidelines. Another ingredient that sums up the peculiarity of Japanese cuisine is fish, prepared in such a variety of ways that it is even enjoyed at breakfast, where it must be eaten raw. Drinks. Sake is the national drink of Japan. It is a white rice wine that can be served as an accompaniment to various meals. Another tradition in Japan is tea, consumed on a large scale. The importance of tea has earned it a specific ceremony, which involves its preparation and consumption.